great day. Shalom, shalom. Thank you for joining us today with our second installment. We're talking about the great wealth transfer. So if you are a woman who is 40 or above and you are um, trying to discover or interested in how to be prepared for this great wealth transfer, you are in the right place. And what would you do? What would you do if suddenly you woke up and there was a lot of money in your bank account? What would you do? And that's really what I'm here to talk to you about today, how to be prepared for this wealth transfer. Now, this is going to be several installments because I don't want to take a long time on each one of these, but I want to give you three key things that I think you should really consider in preparation for this great supernatural wealth transfer, of which you can be a participant, you can be a recipient. And so, if that should happen to you, then I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to not know or not have any steps. I'm very, very um, keen on proactivity, not reactivity. So I think we should do what we can to be proactive for things that we believe to be a possibility in our lives and not wait until they happen. And then, there we are, we're nervous, we're anxious. So who am I? If you're connecting with us for the first time, I'm Janet Green, and I've been in this personal development space for a while, and I've been teaching on this subject of wealth transfer for several months now. And I began to read about this and know that this possibility, or hear people talk about this many years ago, but I believe that we are right on the cusp. As a matter of fact, not on the cusp, but it is happening. It is happening. It's happened in congregations. I know across the country, other people are talking about it. It really has even nothing to do with necessarily sitting in a church, but um, money is just being transferred everywhere, and why shouldn't we be recipients as believers? If you're a woman in ministry, if you just like hanging out with people that like to talk about this is going to be good for you. If you're 40 and above, you may be thinking, man, I need to know what to do. I'm going to need a lot of money here to fund my future, to fund the assignment that God has had for me, that I believe he has for me. This supernatural wealth transfer could be the thing that catapults you into being able to actually accomplish with a little bit more ease the thing that God has assigned to you. So the steps that I'm going to share you, just going to share three today, share with you. They are key, they are essential, and this is important for people who have faith in this. If you don't believe that a wealth transfer is a possibility for you, then this is probably not the video for you. But if you do believe, this is the right place. So let's talk about step number one. Step number one is you might agree with this and you may not agree with it, but I know a lot of people that will. Step number one is if you should wake up with a lot of money in your bank account, don't tell anybody. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, unless you have a very, very close circle of people that can handle your new wealth, your new state of wealth. Everybody won't be able to handle your wealth. Trust me when I tell you. And if you make the mistake and shout it on the mountaintop, your long lost cousin, 5 generations down, will some kind of way find you and begin to tell you how much they love you and how much they appreciate you. And some of your family members, even close family members, will not be able to handle your newly received wealth. So you want to keep it close. And why am I talking about this as a proactive step? Because you need to be thinking about those people. It may not be, it may be one person. I don't know who that would be for your life, but you need to be thinking about that person or people who you know you can include in the initial, at the initial onset of this massive wealth that will hit your bank account. So just know who that is. Think about who that is right now. And maybe it's somebody, maybe you have a friend that you've been talking to about this and they can handle it because they're waiting on the same thing. And you can really trust that person. But it has to be trustworthy people who will not immediately have their hand out to say, give me my portion or give me some, hey, girl, I've been needing to get me a new car. I've been needing to I need some help on this and I need some help on that. Sit on it for a while. I'm not telling you not to eventually let people in on it, but even at that time, you have to be selective. Everybody will not cover you. Some people will hate you for your wealth. Some people will think that you have immediately changed, and they will swear up and down that you were not like this before you received this great amount of wealth. So that's the very first thing. Don't shout it on the mountaintop. I just want you to take a deep breath, inhale, calm yourself down, because I can imagine what would happen for me if I woke up and there was six figures in my account that I didn't work for. Or even if, watch this, even if it's six figures in your account that you have something you've been working on, some idea that you've been working on, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 bam, like just things start to take off. If you've been selling something online, if you have a business online and you've been selling something and you've been tweaking processes, and then all of a sudden, or you launched something and then all of a sudden people are buying. I know people, and I've had coaches who have made six figures in an hour, and some of them seven figures in one day. So the possibility is there, and I want you to stretch your mind. Don't count yourself out. Count yourself in, because it's happening. And if it's happened once, it'll happen again. If it's happened twice, it will happen multiple times. And it just depends on how we are positioning ourselves and the things that we are putting in place to become that recipient. Could it just be plain supernatural? You didn't work for it. You just, some kind of way, God just decided that he wanted to trust you with this level of wealth. Yes, it could be that too. I'm trying to ignite your faith. That's the goal. Remember, to ignite your faith so that you can think beyond what is normal and what is natural, because that's how God is moving for us in this last day. Okay, so that's the first thing. Don't shout it on the mountaintop. Second thing is this: have you a financial team already prepared? Because you're going to need a CPA. You probably are going to need a lawyer. You might need a financial advisor. I'm sure you will need these people. Well, don't wait until it happens and then you get on the phone after it happens and you're frantically trying to find somebody. You're trying to secure a team of people. No, go ahead and do what? Be proactive about this. Start researching who are the best kinds of people, who are the best types of lawyers. You already have a lawyer who you feel like that can handle this, then okay, you got that person on staff, but you're going to need a team of people to help you to manage multiple amounts of money. All right, I suggest to you, as a side thought, and we've talked about this before on our other call, to write down the things that you have in mind or that you feel like the Lord is leading you to do with large sums of money. But today we're just talking about that initial onset, that initial deposit, okay? So get that team in place, research who is it. You might want to have somebody on your team like an estate planner, because if you get a whole lot of money, you're definitely going to want to know how to set it up so that you can leave it your children, your children's children can be sure to get what you leave them behind. You need to know what those are. Do I have trust? Do I set up trust funds? What do I do? Okay. How do I invest? You're going to need all of these kinds of people on your team so that you won't have, you won't waste. Let me share a scripture text with you that supports this. Watch this. Proverbs 11:14 says this: where there is no wise, intelligent guidance, the people fail, the people fall and go off course like a ship without a helm. But in the abundance of wise and godly counselors, there is victory. So, this team of people that I'm saying to you to assemble together, these would be your wise counsels. Now, that comes from the book of Proverbs. And if anybody knew about the necessity for wise counsel, certainly King Solomon knew that he was a wise counselor himself. And he knew the importance of having counselors, wise counsel around you. So just know that there is a biblical support for not going off on your own, trying to figure this all out by yourself. Some things are just too big for us to just do alone. Remember, I said if it's a God thing, it's too big for you to do by yourself. You're definitely going to need him, and you're going to need a team of people. It's just going to be too big for you to do it by yourself. Now, don't get in pride and don't get arrogant and don't say, I know how to handle, I can handle all kinds of money. Well, you know what? If you've never handled $500,000 at one time, you probably don't know how to handle it. Okay. You may not know what those steps are. If you've never handled $1 million, you don't know how to handle $1 million. So you want to make sure that you educate yourself. Don't be, we don't want to be silly. We want to be wise. We want to be wise stewards, because these people that you're putting together, they're going to help you to be the wise stewards that God is trusting you to be. He will not be trying to release massive sums of money into your hands if he didn't see that you had the capability for these things. Remember this, even the person that I often go back to the talents, even the guy that had the one talent, he had the ability to do what he needed to do with the money. It wasn't that he didn't have the ability. Remember, he delivered to them based on their ability or their capability. So it wasn't that he did not have the ability. He walked in fear. Fear gripped him. He was afraid of losing it. He did not tap into the capabilities that his master or his Lord knew that he could do. He knew not to give him 10, but he said, I will give you 1. But he failed the test. We don't want to be failing the test. We want to be ready. I'm telling you up front. Did they know that they were going to get these amounts of 10 to 5 and 1? Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know that this was going to happen to them. But I'm saying to you, you're going to act like you know, because I'm saying again that this is a great possibility. This great wealth transfer is going to happen. All right. So last but not least, you want to make sure now I'm a tither. So I need to know how to pay tithes on this amount of money. What is the process? It may not be the same process that you pay your tithes on $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month. You may need to do that in a different way. Well, guess what's going to happen? Your financial counselors, they're going to tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. Do we need to do a cashier's check? We don't need to do a check right out of the account. What do we need to do? Do we need to split it up in donation amounts? See, this stuff is important to know. If you give $1 million, if you get $1 million, do you just do $100,000 cashier's check, or do you do for $25,000 cashier's check? You need to know what that is. Okay. Now, after you pay your tithes. Now, if you're not a tither, I'm not here to make you a tither, but I am suggesting to you that tithing is the greatest opportunity for you to keep this wealth going. It keeps the windows of heaven open over your head. It rebukes the devourer on your behalf. And so that's why I'm saying, if you don't have a church membership, find a company, find an organization who's doing good things, who's doing great things, who an organizations that you can trust. That's why you want to research what organization can I trust with a tenth of this money, so that they and I can trust them to really disseminate this and help God do what God wants to do in the earth. It may be a couple of places that you can sow your tenth to, and that's what the tithe is. It is a tenth. Again, I'm not trying to make you do anything, but I do know this. Great men like Mr. Kraft, great men have done multiple millions and billions of dollars of business in this earth. They were tithers. They were tithers. Even the man who, and I can't think of his name right now, the Chick-fil-A man, it was a tither. And so they saw the importance, and I want you to see the importance of being a tither once you get this amount of money in your hand, okay? Then the next thing is to, and I said three, but I guess this was kind of four, but the next thing is to pay your debt. Pay off all of your debts, okay? You want to make sure that you pay off every debt. Don't leave one credit card with a balance. Don't leave anything with a balance. You may ask your financial advisors, okay, is this a good day? Is this a great time? Should I immediately go ahead and pay off the my mortgage if you have a mortgage? I'm telling you, get rid of your debt, and so that now all of the monies that you have, you will be able to now be able to utilize them. I'm going to come back on tomorrow or the next episode of this, and we're going to talk about other ways, because there's so many things that you need to do to be prepared for this supernatural wealth transfer. And so those are my nuggets for you today. I want you to make sure you look out for our next installment of this. And I also want to invite you to our Friday Live, where our goal is to come live in the YouTube channel, but we are definitely going to be live in Facebook, on Facebook. So you want to reach us there. I'm Janet S. Green on Facebook. You want to go ahead and reach out to me and friend request me. The link for my Facebook channel is going to be on my Facebook page. It's going to be in the description, so you can reach out to me. Make sure you friend me so that you can turn your notifications on to be able to connect with us. That Friday Live is called A Dose of Soul Prosperity. And we've been doing that for a while. And I want to include you in on that so that you miss none of the nuggets that we are dropping for you, because I believe that God wants us to prosper in this season. And I believe that you, just simply because you've connected to the video, you've connected to this live or to this particular training, I believe that you're one of those people. So anyway, those are the nuggets for me that I have for you. And I want you to have a great, great supernatural rest of your day. And we'll see you on the next episode. God bless.